we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I want to share something with you that changed my life forever. A truth learned not in a classroom, not from a book, but from behind steel bars and concrete walls. It's the secret to killing fear. And it starts with a man who, to this day, I swear, stood 8 feet tall. His voice sounded like gravel being dragged across rusted iron. The kind of voice that could shatter peace and ignite tension with just one word. He was a correctional officer in the facility where I served my time, one of the guards. But to me, on the first day, he seemed more like a monster from a nightmare than any man I had ever seen. I remember standing in that intake hallway, the chill of confinement just beginning to settle into my bones, and hearing him shout loud, aggressive and unforgiving at another inmate, "You so much as breathe wrong and I'll tase you." I will never forget the electricity of fear that surged through my body in that moment. It wasn't just his voice. It was the authority, the unpredictability, the power to break what little control I had left. From that moment on, I made it my mission to avoid him like the plague. I studied the shift. I learned his patterns. I figured out what units he usually patrolled and when. If I heard his voice echo down the hallway, I changed direction. If I knew he was on duty, I adjusted my routine, eating earlier or later, exercising when he wasn't watching. I used everything short of invisibility to stay out of his path. I kept my head down. I played it safe. And for a while, it worked. Weeks turned into months. I got through check-ins, inspections, even recreation without once coming face to face with him. It became a badge of honor in my own mind, like I had beaten the system, like I had outwitted fear. But here's the thing about fear. It doesn't like to be outwitted. It waits. It watches. It lets you think you've escaped until it decides it's time to finish the story. And so, as luck or fate would have it, my final day arrived. There's a strange feeling that comes on your last day inside. You think it would be joy, relief, celebration. But for me, there was a knot in my stomach. I had been waiting so long for that day, but something didn't feel right. I didn't know what it was until I heard it. Boom! 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 A heavy fist pounded against the steel door, shaking it in its frame. And then came the voice I had worked so hard to avoid. "Amari! Let's go." It was him. The guard I had feared for the entire duration of my sentence. The one I had tiptoed around like a landmine. The very voice I had labeled unsafe was now the one calling me forward to freedom. In that moment, I froze. My mind raced. My body tightened. Was this a joke? Was I in trouble? Was this man going to take one last opportunity to humiliate or hurt me? But deep inside, I knew the truth. The only way out was through. I had to walk directly into the presence of the thing I feared most to reclaim my life. And that, my friends, is the secret to killing fear. Fear doesn't die when you avoid it. It doesn't shrink when you run from it. It grows in the silence. It strengthens in the shadows. It feeds on the parts of you that are still unsure, still ashamed, still unwilling to stand. We've all got something or someone we've tried to avoid. That conversation we keep putting off. That dream we delay because we're scared of failing. That part of our past we never want to face. We trick ourselves into believing that avoidance is strategy. That fear will fade if we ignore it long enough, but fear doesn't fade. It festers. And here's the truth I learned. Fear is not there to stop you. It's there to introduce you to the strongest version of yourself. That guard didn't represent just a man in a uniform. He was the embodiment of everything I had been running from. Judgment, pain, powerlessness, the idea that I was less than human. Facing him meant facing all of that, not just for release from prison, but release from the internal prison that I had confined myself to. So I stood up. I took a breath. I picked up the little bit of property I had left, and I opened the door. He didn't growl. He didn't taste. He didn't even look at me sideways. He simply nodded, turned, and led me to the gate. The gate to my new life. And as I walked behind him, trembling but determined, something inside me shifted. I realized I had just walked through the fire, and I survived. That moment redefined fear for me. It taught me that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. So here's my question for you. What are you avoiding? What conversation, decision, or leap are you delaying because of fear? What part of your life have you placed on pause, hoping the scary parts will magically disappear? What if I told you that the freedom you've been praying for is waiting just on the other side of the thing you're afraid to face? You don't kill fear by thinking it to death. You kill it by walking into it with trembling knees and an open heart. You kill fear by making a decision. I will no longer let this thing run my life. You kill fear by showing up, not perfect, not fearless, but present and willing. Fear is a teacher, but it's not your master. It's a mirror, but it's not your future. The secret to killing fear isn't complicated. It's not about being the strongest, smartest, or most spiritual person in the room. It's about being the one who dares to face what others won't. And when you do, when you walk into the face of the very thing you thought would break you, you'll find something beautiful on the other side. Freedom. Because what I learned on that day, my last day inside, is this. Sometimes the guard you fear most is actually the one assigned to open the door to your destiny. Don't run from fear. Walk through it. That's how you kill it. Peace and blessings. Dr. O.